Go.
Well, I am Joseph Peterson, and this is Granny. Well, my Granny. And she's called Anne Peterson.
Anne
Maiden
Peterson.
name Anne Whiteley.
And I was born on the 5th of March, 1936. So I was 3 when war started in September 1939, and we were all at Kingsdown on the Kent coast. Great-grandpa Whiteley, Eric, was one of the first to be called up as he went to train other soldiers with no experience. He had also been in the Territorial Army, the TA, with the Honourable Artillery Company, HAC, in the City of London. We lived in Banstead, 20 miles from London. I was, this is me, Granny, Anne, 3, Richard, my brother, was a baby. After about a year of living on our own with Gigi, Jean, your great-granny, the bombing was getting close, and one night the village pub was bombed. Richard and I both had whooping cough, and we would have to run across the lawn when the siren went to next door's bomb shelter, an Anderson shelter. We had a Morrison shelter under the dining room table, where Richard and I slept most nights. Gigi, that's great-granny, thought we should go further away from London. So my great-auntie Glad took us into Ladbroke Hall, a beautiful house with a farm not far from Birmingham, the Midlands. A lot of children from London went to the country, so Auntie Glad thought she'd be better off with having relations, and so were we. We helped milk cows, I learnt to ride, and Gigi helped with the harvesting of wheat and barley. By this time I was 5 or 6, ready to go to school in the village of Tamworth-in-Arden. It was lovely, and we learned to make things and sew. After a year or so, we went to find great-grandpa Eric, who was stationed near Wales. We went to Oswestry and lived on another farm, not nearly so grand as Ladbroke. They were very poor, and the winter was extremely cold. Once a week, Richard and I and John Davis, my cousin, with us, were given a bath in a tin tub in front of the kitchen range. We wore something called a Liberty body, which is a double vest, and did not have much food to eat. On Wednesday, the baker came with cream buns, every Wednesday. Horrid synthetic cream, but to us they were heaven. In the summer we went for a holiday in Forth in Wales, very near Abu Dhabi, where we went with a hotel. We were put on the train and locked in so the soldiers didn't pester us. They were lovely holidays, tons of sand and sea. Then we moved up to Wales to be near Grandpa, again, right in the mountains, Betsy Coyd. In 1943 to 45, we went into the city of Birmingham to stay with Gigi's mother, Granny Riley, in a rather small flat on the Hagley Road. We both got measles and were in her bedroom. She was not amused. We were quite poorly. We had no toys or much to play with. I had a tennis ball, a hoop, a skipping rope, and that was it. It was. Sevens against the wall and all manner of skipping. There was a small black backyard. We used to eat things like chaw, which is half a pig's head. Not much food to go round. No bananas, oranges or chocolate. There was no school nearby, so Richard and I went to a governess called Mrs. Sikiotis. We learnt nothing, but we did go out to the Licky Hills on a bus.
How did you learn nothing?
Suddenly, in 1945, it was the end of the war, and I remember standing in the street waving my little Union Jack. We went back to Banstead later that year. I was 8 and went to a new school in Walton-on-the-Hill called Bramley, where Mummy also went. We cycled to a garage a mile and a half away, left our bikes there, caught the 80A bus, and then another mile down the road to the school. I was the youngest. If you forgot your bus there, the conductor would say, "Never mind, ducks, pay me tomorrow." The food shortages got much worse, and we had to eke everything out. This went on for nearly 10 years after the war. Also, material was difficult to get hold of, so we didn't have many clothes. But we survived and kept chickens. Grandpa Whiteley came home to much joy and happiness. He had been in the Royal Army Service Corps, which meant he had to get supplies to all parts of the country so the troops could eat and fire their guns. He flew Dakotas, which were serviceable planes, but he ended up with terrible arthritis from sleeping under canvas on damp camp beds. And that's the end, but it was very sad. Poor Grandpa, he suffered a lot.
Thank you very much.